on YouTube. Yeah, on television, like I said, Cox Channel 4, that's your poison at home, your television provider. Cox Channel 4, weekday afternoons at 4. Spectrum, Charter, Spectrum Channel 333 all over the state, 4 p.m. weekdays. Oh So Fine, 93.9 FM. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. We're on about 4 radio stations, couple of television stations, YouTube. Lots of ways to check us out. CoreyTalks.com. That website has all the info. CoreyTalks.com. Hey, tomorrow I'm kind of fired up for this guest at 4 o'clock hour, live in studio in 24 hours. New Orleans' own Cameron Gilly, the guy I've been talking about who ran that Leadville 100, the 100-mile race. This guy in New Orleans who likes to run and can run long distances, ultra marathons and more. I'm going to go run the Leadville 100 up in the mountains of Colorado. He completed the race. He got the buckle. Did it in under 30 hours. Just, I think it's pretty mind-boggling story that he started on Saturday morning at 4 a.m., started running 4 a.m. Saturday morning in the mountains of Colorado, and finished up around 11 a.m. Sunday morning. 11 a.m. Sunday morning, like nearly 29 hours of running straight. No sleep. Just crazy. And no real sitting around resting either. No taking a nap. No 30-minute break. Walking and mostly running the whole way. We'll find out the story tomorrow when Cameron Gilly joins us for the 4 o'clock hour. Hey, it's a Tuesday. That means The Real Deal with Dan Reel. We do it every Tuesday. Dan Reel joins us with a full slate of topics, a slew of topics. How you doing, Dan?
Good, Corey. Still haven't calmed down from last Tuesday. I'm excited to get back at it.
What got us going last Tuesday? Remind me.
Russia and Ukraine, man. You were basically calling me a commie.
Was I? I didn't know I did that. Wow.
No,
boy.
It was a healthy debate, that's for sure.
Well, probably just thinking about that, I should start off the program with Trump and the flag burning ban or something like that. But this one we probably agree on, which is probably bad radio, but I can't help myself. I've got to start with this topic. I'm sorry, Dan. You ready?
Yeah, I know what it's going to be, I guess. But
yeah, Ray Nagin has reemerged and saying just some absolutely crazy stuff, just kind of embarrassing. He was at a church service and he said he's innocent, that race was a big factor in his indictment, that Junket Cantrell, it's the same thing. I say, innocent, no. Race involved, no. Junket Cantrell, same thing, no. Here's some quotes, and I'll let you talk about it, Dan.
Sure.
He said, the negative press, the media, in cahoots with the prosecutors, so the media and the feds are in cahoots together on this. They manipulated charges against me, and they brought them to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect any more out of him. I mean, but any way you could possibly continue your life by blaming other people for stuff you've done is the way that he and others go. So I put no stock in anything that man says, and he is comparing himself to LaToya, and I think he's right. I think they're both criminals and crooks. So that's all I have to say about him. He's gone to me, and I've already expressed to you how quickly I want her to be gone as well. So that's really, my only take is why anybody gives him any credibility or any time whatsoever. I don't understand, and it's frustrating, but it's not surprising, Corey.
No, it's not surprising. And it's not surprising he does it in a church setting. We've got a nice, calm, collected, a God-fearing audience, especially at that time. And when I'm in church, I'm in a very forgiving, open mood, we're fellow man, being kind, it's all about that. And I'm not saying it's not real world. I wish I could take church and everybody would live that way all the time, always. Things would be great. But I don't think that sells very well in an audience that's, I don't want to say thinking clearly. That's not fair to say. I'm thinking clearly at church. That you're not in that mode, Dan. That you're, wait. What do you mean that you're innocent? What do you mean that it was race related? What do you mean Cantrell's the same thing? What do you mean the press was in cahoots with the feds? I mean, there's going to be no calling out in church. Instead, it's going to be nodding approval and yes, and he leaves there thinking, "Wow, people are with me on this one." It's kind of always been Ray Nagin's problem.
Yeah, instead of the action that I think many honorable people who have made mistakes in their life would have used that opportunity to stand up and say, hey, this reminds me of my situation. And it reminds me of how, I was a human and I let my guard down and I made really bad mistakes. And I'm here in front of you all in church in a place where we all can have forgiveness for what we've done. But instead, no, go on offense and try to make people believe what you're saying and feel sorry for you. That makes it worse for me. I don't even want to hear him.
No, that's so well said. He said he didn't know a love affair was a federal crime, talking about Cantrell. It's just, I really don't like when folks just throw out some little sizzling one-liner and think it's like a blanket that covers everything. It's like, didn't know a love affair was a federal crime, and a little bit more to it than that, Dan.
Yeah, Corey, and you know what? I'm supporting an African American for mayor. I don't want to hear anything about that. That has nothing to do with it. So stop bringing it up. I get it. It's an angle, but it's nonsensical to me. I want Royce to be the next mayor. He's African American. He's from here. Stop talking to us as though we don't understand or that we are being unfair. It's crazy talk.
Yeah, it is crazy talk. Dan Real is with us. It's the real deal. The mayor indicted, a arraignment 2 weeks from tomorrow, Dan. The only thing I would like to see out of that is that travel is banned. This whole indictment's based off of VAPI, 14 trips in that indictment, $70,000 in taxpayer money. I mean, there's an argument that she's a mayor, like of any city. Travel's part of the job. In this instance, I would say she has to request any travel she would like to do and have the court approve it. And I don't think they're going to approve junket. So all I want to see out of that is that she's grounded.
Yeah, I think she is politically anyway for a while, but she 15,000 WhatsApp messages. I mean, how much time and energy goes into something like that? You could talk about the love affair all you want, and people could do what they want on their own time. A lot of this is going down on official time when things are supposed to be getting done. You're the leader of the city. You're supposed to be making things better. And instead, you're sneaking around doing things you shouldn't be doing. It's on record. We're not making this up. It's obvious and it's in front of us all.
Yeah.
So stop the nonsense and just go away.
Hey, did we talk? That's funny. Did we talk about the? I agree. Did we talk about the Fourth Circuit ruling about? Essentially they ruled in favor of the city council having to approve contracts, and as of right now, Henry Consulting is out, and Ivy Waste continues to clean the quarter till December, and there might be a whole new bid for January 2026 and beyond, like they're supposed to be. Did we discuss that yet?
We talked about it a little bit. I mean, I come to the conclusion where you obviously have to follow what the courts say, but I follow what the results say. And he earned that contract. He's doing it for much less. They're doing it better. And Henry has nobody to blame but himself. He got into a fight with Richards that caused some of this issue. It gave Ivy Waste an opportunity. He seized it. And not only did he seize it, he brought an entire region of the city, the most important economic driving engine of the city, together. And that's not easy to do. So let's not be stupid and go back to inefficiencies and less progress and smelly quarters again. Let's celebrate around Ivy Waste and let's support them and let's encourage them to keep doing more and more of that. That's my stance.
Hey, Dan, I got to take a break in about 40 seconds. Derek Groves still at large. It's like 4.5 months later. I swear, I think this guy's dressed as a woman or something. That's just long time to be at large still.
You brought that up a couple weeks ago. I thought it was crazy. It might be the smartest thing anybody said about that entire case. That probably is what's happening.
I can't believe 4.5 months, or he's not in Houston, like the favorite spot of New Orleanians, it seems. They go to Houston. I mean, this guy's in Alaska. This guy's in Maine. I don't know, Kansas. I have no idea where Derek Groves is. It's crazy. It's The Real Deal with Dan Real. We're just getting started. Like I said earlier, a slew of topics coming your way. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, the premier dry cleaner in Metro New Orleans. Yeah, want to experience the best since 1940. 85 years of excellence. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Go to their website right now, Young'sDryCleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Thoughtful conversation, common sense. Corey Johnson.
With all due respect, Mr. Dennis, I had no idea you'd gotten experimental surgery to have your removed.
Live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
What was that? Whoa, I said with all due respect.
Yeah, you right. Tuesday afternoon, The Real Deal with Dan Real. Dan, we're going to move on in a second. This is like a rinse and repeat. I can't help myself. But during the break, I was just like, Mario Brothers and I were chatting, and it's like, Ray Nagin, 20 years later, well, I mean, indicted 10 years ago and went to jail, and only did half the time. Supposed to do, I think, 10 years, did 5 with Corona or some break he got. Is still, instead of accepting as a man, this guy's older than you and I, Dan. Been on the planet older than you and I, 60-something years old. He's a full-blown grown man heading towards senior citizen. and he is not accepting that he committed a crime, that he was guilty and went to jail. He's still claiming he's innocent, and the media was with the feds, and they manipulated the system, and he's innocent. And that just, I know we're repeating a topic, but that just blows me away. That angle that we didn't discuss, that here's a man a decade later and can't accept it as a man. It's just pathetic. A man or a woman, as a human being, it's pathetic.
Well, I kind of touched on it, I think, when I said that he had the opportunity at church to, what a perfect place to acknowledge that you're a human being and you made a mistake. And instead, he went 180 degrees. And it's just, again, I don't want to spend another minute.
No,
on this
I'm
guy.
sorry.
That's
Sorry.
bad radio. I apologize.
No,
but
you're
I'm
right. You're right.
you know.
I'm talking with Mario Brothers. It's like, geez, and Pete's, it's ridiculous.
I get it.
It's that crazy, but you're right. See, I'm a cornerback on an island sometimes doing this show. I need some safety help. I need to get pulled in sometimes, Dan. Thank you. You're right. I'm not kidding. You're right.
All right.
Hey,
well, let's go. We got a lot of good stuff still.
No, we do. And I'm sorry I dragged you into the minutia again of crap. All right. A Texas judge blocks Texas from posting the 10 Commandments. I think the Attorney General, the Liz Merle of Texas, the AG of Texas, is like, y'all go post those 10 Commandments already.
Well, I know your stance on it. You're 100% certain on this one. I know from talking about it in the past.
And I'm a 10 Commandments Jesus guy. That's the funny part. That's my God. I like the 10 Commandments. It's my thing, but.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of kind of like the 2080 issues, and I'm sure it's more than 20%, but the stuff that was getting brought up by the Democrats that they're wasting time on when most of the country already has a decision that they've made on it. This one doesn't bother me as much as a man in a woman's locker room, but kind of reminds me of just throwing your party some red meat, and they know what's going to happen. It's probably like another topic we're going to talk about, but it's just red meat. And to me, I don't mind the message, so it doesn't bother me as much. But if I'm being honest, I'm going to let you know, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah. I think it's a political game too. I think red meat's a good way to put it out there. It's politics. It gets the base, really, kind of foaming at the mouth over the topic. There's no doubt about it. It's similar in a way, Dan, to the flag burning. What do you think about that? Trump is going to ban burning the flag, or has banned burning the flag. As a matter of fact, I forget if the guy was in front of the Capitol or the White House, but a man got arrested today for burning a flag in D.C., like 4 cops arresting this one man for burning the flag. I think it's the ultimate form of expression, First Amendment. I put it this way, like, I don't like David Duke, but First Amendment, I'd fight for that idiot to spew his crap that I despise, his racist KKK stuff that I despise. I mean, that's the beauty of America. Even we have to tolerate that loser. I love the flag. I don't plan on burning one ever, but I think it's just maybe an ultimate form of protest. So I don't have a problem. What's your take, Dan?
My take should be that it's already ruled on and securely determined through multiple Supreme Court decisions, but it's one that, I remember, I think it was Rick Monday, maybe, when I was growing up, there was somebody that was doing that out in right field of a baseball game, and he went and he just threw the guy.
Yeah.
Back then, a lot of that had to do with Vietnam. And I guess, Corey, what I would say is, I think it needs to be protected, obviously, but my problem is more about the people and why they're burning it. It's lazy nowadays. It's just, back then, I believe there were race issues, and not that there aren't now, I'm not saying that, but it was a different time. That was right in the heart of Vietnam, and that's why they had to rule on this in the 80s and the late 70s. And now I see it, and I think it's just a bunch of people that are, it's a lazy form of expression. It should be the ultimate form. But if you look at who's doing this and why, in my opinion, it pisses me off. It's the sign of our entire country. It is our flag. And so, yes, it should be protected, but that is a fine line. We determined companies are people for the sake of politics and raising money. And you determine that burning a flag is a First Amendment right. I get both, but I think you're allowed to not like it and still think it should be legal. And you summed it up well. And I think that's where I am too. If I saw it happening in front of me, I can't beat anybody up, but I think I'd be pretty pissed.
Rick Mundy's the guy, the baseball player that threw the fan out and kind of put the flag out from burning.
Yeah, I don't know if he was stepping on it or burning it. I just remember.
Yeah, he lit it on fire, I think, in protest of the baseball player. No, see, I love that because to me, it's like, the flag, the guy has that right to burn that flag, but in a place that he can burn, he doesn't have the right to go on that baseball field. Like, that player can beat the crap out of that fan if he wants to, in my opinion, because he's he's being attacked. He doesn't know what's going on. You remember that guy that went and I think the father and son went and attacked the first baseman. The players rallied around and beat the crap out of that father and son.
Well, you go on the field, that's what should happen.
Exactly. No charges. If their charges were pressed, no one paid anything. They threw that out. They threw that out immediately. Yeah. But
I just remember that, Corey. There's not a lot of 70s and 80s baseball that stick in my head, but that moment sticks in my mind as a 52-year-old man. And I just remember how proud I was even seeing that and even remembering it to bring it to you now. And it's just, that's my reaction to it. So go ahead. If you want to do it, that's fine. Shouldn't be able to hurt anybody, but I'm really not a supporter of that activity.
I'm getting some info that the arrest was made because that guy not so much lit the flag, he started a fire. What were they saying? Describing the property as it's a national park. He started a fire at a national park, I guess, being on the either grounds of the Capitol or by the White House on the lawn or something. He was at a national park starting a fire. So the flag was sort of an incidental. That's why he got arrested.
Oh, yeah. You and I were talking about the literal interpretation of it. I think as it relates to what Trump signed today, the caveat is that it's not just for burning a flag. It's doing something else in addition to burning the flag.
Well, Trump was insinuating, like, you burn a flag, it incites a riot. It's an automatic riot starter, and that it isn't an automatic riot starter.
Yeah, or it's arson because it's fire. It's definitely, again, it's red meat, Corey.
Yeah.
And it's red meat that I like, to be honest, but I think I'm impartial enough to admit when things need to remain legal for others to do. I just wish people would understand how good and how lucky they've got it here. And, they're out there just whining and bitching about things when the government keeps them propped up anyway. It just makes me sick.
I disagree with a lot of stuff Dan says, and I'll continue to disagree with a lot of stuff Dan says, and we'll agree on some stuff, but I'm just telling you the truth. Honestly, I was going to ask Dan a subtopic. Like, I thought Dan might answer it specifically on the grounds of the question, and he did, and then he said it's red meat. And my next question was going to be, Dan, you've got to admit this is politics, right? And Dan already is admitting that and beating me to the question. So I'm not saying I'm giving Dan credit or praise him, whatever. Just that's how he's thinking, so he's like a step ahead of my question for whatever that's worth. Let's see. Smitty's supply explosion, Dan. To be honest with you, look, I'm not hoping for any of this, but we're Louisiana. We're kind of dysfunctional. We've got a lot of refineries and chemical plants. Louisiana's DEQ, in my opinion, is weak. I think the Fed's EPA today has been weakened. For Department of Defense, I want military running it. EPA, I want environmental folks running it. With all of that said, I'm shocked we haven't had like a major train derailment. We have 6 major rail lines coming into New Orleans. All these refineries, this Smitty's thing almost seems inevitable in Louisiana with just so much of this going on. I'm shocked we don't have more of it. And knock on wood, I hope we have the proper regulations in place. We're properly monitoring all this. I want free-flowing capitalism, but I don't want the inmates running the asylum. And in Louisiana, I think the oil and gas and chemical industry, they run DEQ. What did you think about that Smitty's explosion? And just real quick, finally, just a quote that scared the hell out of me from DEQ and the EPA. They basically said that there were no toxins. We ran, a check. We check the air, and what's the quote? No detectable levels of hazardous substances. I don't know if you saw what I saw, that plume. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that area, Dan.
No, I mean, they got everybody out of there. I think there's still like 7 homes that are impacted. So it's nice that it was not lasting very long, unless you're insinuating that they're letting them back when it's not truly safe. I care that there were 400 or 450 jobs there in that part of our state.
Yep.
I think it's fantastic to have those types of jobs in this state. I hope that we continue to bring oil and gas and other types of things to Louisiana in places that are really not productive, as far as commerce goes. So I look at it as a bigger picture. Nobody got killed. I looked at it and saw that it happened at 12:50 on a Friday. Maybe people were at lunch. I haven't heard enough about the story.
Yep.
For that size of an explosion and fire, for there to be nobody dead,
Yep,
is a godsend and a blessing. And I'm less worried about the quotes coming out now than I am about the fact that we got to get those 450 people back to work, and we need to make sure everybody's safe. And thank God everybody's all right. That's my takeaway.
No, that's a good take on it. It's The Real Deal with Dan Reel, Corey Johnson, Dan Reel with us till 5 o'clock. So a lot more to go, nearly 30 minutes. You're welcome to join us, 766-9480.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot. TM-AC.com, your cool spot.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone.
At Audubon Gutters.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleanian. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. No, that's me. That's me, lady.
I like that Audubon Gutter spot. Get out of the gutter. Audubon Gutters. AudubonGutters.com. Hey, it's The Real Deal with Dan Real on a Tuesday. Tomorrow in the 4 o'clock hour, Cameron Gilly's going to join us. He ran the Leadville 100 a couple of weekends ago. Started at 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning and finished 11 a.m. Sunday morning. 29 hours of running in the mountains, 100 miles. He's a New Orleans guy. He'll be in studio tomorrow to discuss it. Dan, did we bring up Nagin talking in church? All right, I'm kidding. A mayoral debate last night out at the lakefront. I think it's coming on like Channel 12 a few times later in the week, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe tomorrow night they'll broadcast it, and then a few more times. But it happened yesterday at the lakefront airport. I saw some clips online today. I don't think there was anything earth-shattering that went down from this. It was the top three candidates, I guess, as far as percentage of, in polls and money raised. It was Helena Moreno, the prohibitive favorite. She might win in the primary. Royce Duplessis is right now in second place, and Oliver Thomas is just sort of hanging on. Those three were debating last night, but I don't know if you saw any of it online, Dan, but I don't think any nuclear bomb was dropped, and something like that has to happen. A nuclear bomb needs to be dropped for the needle to move in this race.
No, I will watch it. I did watch the city council debate with Fletcher, and I thought it was pretty interesting. But as far as the city goes, I think the play remains, and I'll stick in this corner for now. I think Oliver's about to head out, and he's probably going to get behind Royce. And if that happens, I think we've got ourselves a little bit of a horse race. I think you were right. I think she's a prohibitive favorite. But if you want to have a serious option down to the wire, that's probably the most likely and possible thing, other than just telling Helena to start putting her nameplate on.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, I for Royce Duplessis to obviously have more votes, it'd be good for Oliver Thomas to get out of the race. I don't see Oliver Thomas passing Royce Duplessis at this point now. The opposite. I think Royce Duplessis's popularity is just going to grow. But I don't think anyone that's voting for Helena Moreno is going to jump off that ship and vote for Royce Duplessis. Maybe I'm wrong. So
I think you might be. I look at it this way. Oliver was in before Royce was in, and Arthur Hunter was there. Arthur was below Oliver. Arthur gets out, goes for Royce as he gets out. Royce is now ahead of Oliver, and Oliver has no chance. If it was head-to-head, it'd be over already. And, because he's shown what happened when he was a second-place candidate. Now he's third. And if Royce left, he still has no shot. But Royce has a chance, I think, to gather some momentum if he gets Oliver's, support. And then who knows? If you listen to Royce go out and speak, I think he's pretty damn effective.
No, I think so, too. And I think Helena Moreno is as well. I think
she's
that
doing a really good job. She's doing a great job making sure that she's staying in the public eye, and she's not doing it in an obnoxious way. She's doing it in a very thoughtful, calculated way to let people know she's listening. She's going to the East. I think it's a really smart campaign. Like I told you before, I am happy if it's one of those two either way. And I just hope that, Royce makes a little bit of a horse race here.
Yeah, that's the big question. Helena Moreno, Arthur Hunter, Oliver Thomas, Royce Duplessis, anyone in it, anyone out of it. She's at like 47%, and it's not going down, it appears. So, and then there's like 15, 18% undecided. So she gets a little bit of that. She wins in the primary. If she doesn't, and if somehow Royce Duplessis with Oliver Thomas in the race or not, he'll come in second, and Helena Moreno gets 49% or less. There's a runoff. Obviously, Royce Duplessis is alive, but I still see it as an uphill battle when Helena Moreno's hovering right around 50% at like 47. That's just a tough opponent to beat right now with, 15, 18% undecided, and you're at 47%. That's an uphill fight for Thomas or most likely Royce Duplessis, Dan.
Well, I think Royce is the only one that has upside. I think Helena,
I agree.
We know her ceiling, I think. I don't think we've seen it yet from there. We know Oliver's ceiling. We know Helena's ceiling. We don't know Royce's yet. It might not be anywhere near her, but I think it's the only one of the three that we just don't know what the tops look like.
No, I think if Oliver Thomas leaves the race, I don't think Helena Moreno's getting many Oliver Thomas voters. If Royce Duplessis got out of the race, Helena Moreno would win in a primary, probably. She would get some of Royce Duplessis's voters, no doubt.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Russia bombs a U.S. factory in Ukraine last week, and Trump didn't seem too fazed by it. As a matter of fact, he's holding up like an 8x11 glossy he's supposed to autograph to send back to Putin or something like that. I'm lost on that. Like both parts. The doesn't seem to care about a U.S. factory getting bombed in Ukraine. And I mean, Putin's just like, that's not an accident. That's not a mistake. They knew it was a U.S. factory and they chose to bomb it. And then holds up a photograph of Putin. It's just at the same damn time, Dan, I have trouble wrapping my brain around that. Help me out.
Well, I'll try to help you. Number one, it wasn't a military base. It was an electronics factory that was civilian owned and led. Not that it's okay to bomb anything, but this is all built for the dramatic and trying to be the big guy out of all of these people. And you and I've talked about it. You think I'm a defeatist because I just think the war should end and we need to just get this thing over with.
No. I said you had a defeatist attitude because you said Ukraine can't win. That's what you said. Yeah, I disagree with that. Ukraine with Europe and the U.S. against Russia can win. But anyway, go on. That's all. I didn't say you're a defeatist.
No, you're feeling the 4-year momentum now. Something's going to happen all of a sudden.
No, I think Biden and Trump have half-assed the effort, especially Biden. Could have been over under the Biden administration, but he did this lame half, here's a gun half loaded. Here's the plane, but not the pilot. I mean, it's nauseating, man. Either, all in or don't even do it. And that was,
Corey,
and Biden half-assed it.
It was an overnight bombing on an electronics factory and nobody got hurt. And then they also had like over 500 drones they dropped that night. And one person total in Ukraine got killed. So I'm telling you right now, it's coming to a conclusion. And I think they're all trying to find a way that Zelensky, Putin, Trump, and Europe as a whole can walk away from this without anybody feeling like they got totally ripped off. But that's just how I'm summarizing. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they all will get behind this and do something. I'm just telling you right now, I don't want any American troops over there. I don't want anything remotely close to a war. We don't belong over there. We've tried.
No, we don't have to go over there. That's the beauty of it. Ukraine's fighting it for us, and Biden half-assed supplying them. And Trump is doing a continuation of Biden. Nothing different. It's sad.
Russia has been doing this with Ukraine back to the Obama administration. And
Obama dropped the ball with Crimea. That was pathetic.
My point is, it's been 20 years. This is not going to stop all of a sudden and shake hands and Russia's going to retreat. This is going to have to be resolved in a way where somebody's going to need to take an L, and you're just trying to make the L as little as possible for all these people that are involved.
I think like the Ukraine attacking Russia's petroleum infrastructure in Russia, that will cripple Russia. That'll cripple the economy worse than it already is and could put Putin and at his knees.
No, listen, China and Iran will be right there for him right when that's done. We don't do that. Just get out of there.
Yeah, but I still can't wrap my hands around a U.S. factory was bombed, a U.S.-owned factory in Ukraine, and Trump's asked about it, and he holds up a photo. If I'm Putin in Russia, I'm like, he doesn't care that we bombed the U.S. factory, and the opposite. He's holding up a 8x10 glossy of both of us that he's going to autograph and send back to me, and he seems proud of it. It's mind-blowing, crazy. No one complaining about it.
My mind is blown that more people don't understand that this is, you can't. You want them to just keep yelling, Corey, or bomb him. It doesn't.
No. I'm talking about the just that situation that people are like, boy, the media is all over Trump. The media gives Trump a free ride. They should be. How do you get asked about a U.S. company getting bombed in Ukraine and you show a picture of Putin that you're proud of? It's mind blowing.
That's not the way this goes. You got to understand that if that was a serious threat, it would have been something that would have been done on a military base or some of our military equipment. It blew up some car parts and some electronics.
U.S. owned. Russia knows it's U.S. owned.
It makes me sick, but I'm telling you right now, I think this thing's coming to a conclusion, and they're all finding a way to just, how do you send 500 drones out overnight while everybody's sleeping and only one person gets killed? That's almost impossible to do if you're trying to hurt somebody. So I just am a believer that.
Wait, are you talking about Russia sends out 500 drones, Ukraine either scrambles or shoots them down, and you're saying Russia just sent them out as a joke or something?
I don't think
they sent them out 500 drones. They wanted to hit 500 targets.
And you're going to tell me they came back and they didn't land anything? I mean, it's just not realistic.
I don't know. I mean, what you're giving me, the 499 didn't hit and 1 out of 500 hit. I didn't hear those numbers. I just know that.
I said one person died. I didn't say one.
Well, then it was a crappy effort by Russia or a fantastic defensive effort by Ukraine. They're getting better and better at defending against drones all the time. I don't get the complaint that, wow, like Russia sent the drones and it's like a farce or something. I don't understand your point.
My point is, you're calling it a factory. It is a U.S.-owned property. That is disgusting, and I don't support it.
I don't care if they're making tube socks. It's U.S.-owned. Rubber bands. I could care less what the product is.
That's fine. There's a war going on over there.
Yeah, and Russia knows it's a U.S. factory, and they bomb it, and the president, A, could give a crap, and B, holds up a picture with Putin, just doubling down on Putin. That's all over Russian news. You don't think that's all over Russian news as a positive for Putin?
You worry about Russian news. You worry about how the president looked when he finished the meeting.
Yeah.
You realize that. How about this? Let me go.
I'm trying to put Russia at their knees to end the war that you don't think is winnable.
The way Russia ends their war is not on their knees. You got to understand that. When you accept that, you'll be all right. It doesn't mean we allow this. But here, let me put it.
No, I got to take a break in 10 seconds. You are allowing it. You're admitting you're allowing it. Hang on. I'll let you get that right on the other side of the break. Don't move, Dan.
All right. I got
the Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
It's The Real Deal with Dan Real. Take it away, Dan.
Man, that break crushed me. I was on a roll, Corey. No, seriously, I want to ask you a question. How do you see this war ending? Take me through it real quick. Like, what do you see happening that will bring this to an end?
Well, what we're doing right now?
No, I want you to tell me
how it's going to end.
How this war ends. When and how?
That's a very tough question because Trump and Biden are doing the exact same thing, which is prolonging the war. We're not, giving enough weapons to Ukraine. We're not giving enough defensive weapons to Ukraine. Europe needs to do more. We all have to be organized and dedicated to it, coupled with sanctions and crippling, Russia's economy even worse than it is. And then I think you would have such a, uprising in Russia with the citizens that it would force Putin to accept maybe part of Crimea, and that's it. And Zelensky's going to have to maybe cut Crimea in half. I've never even heard anyone talking about just cutting Crimea, but the rest of it, all that north up that leads into Russia, all of that would remain with Ukraine. That's how I would see the war ending. But
none of that is going to happen. So it's nice that you're thinking that way. I hope that you're right, but you're not.
Okay, here comes the part where the United States sells out and sends the message to the world that we can be walked on. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh yeah, you think people can walk on us? We blow up.
No. This answer is going to tell people that. Go ahead.
I'll give you the answer. You're worried about the way President Trump looked after the meeting in Alaska. You're worried that Trump holding up a glossy photo is sending the wrong message, and you're worried that they're going to show that on Russian TV. It's a communist country, whatever they call it. Here's the bottom line: there's one person on this earth that could end the war, and it's President Trump. That is not, that is a fact. And so how
Putin could end the war by pulling his troops out and going home. War's over.
Corey, again, the Saints could win 5 Super Bowls in a row. It's not going to happen. What I'm telling you is,
no, what you're telling me is Donald Trump, the Saints could win a Super Bowl if Trump was quarterbacking. That's the scary part. The only person in the world can end the war is Trump? That's crazy. Zelensky and Putin. There are a lot of people that can end the war.
You and I have been talking on this every Tuesday for like 5 months now. Am I a MAGA Trumper?
No, I don't think you're a MAGA Trumpster.
Yeah, that's right. So let's make sure that the new listeners don't think that that's where I'm going. I am a realist. It's gotten me through my life in business very well. And it is, you don't always get what you want. And in a case like this is not an American war. It's been going on since Obama with Crimea. You're blaming Joe Biden for not doing more. That's fine. You're saying that Trump is letting this happen. Corey, do you realize this isn't our war? We're trying to help them.
That's the beauty of it.
More javelins and bombs and everything else you want to give them. It's not going to end that way. The way this ends is Trump is going to get involved. Those two are going to talk like they both won, and they're going to separate the space. That is the only way this ends. And so by you saying.
So
you're mad
Zelensky
at
gets
Trump or you-
Ukraine and Zelensky get screwed, and Putin basically gets what he wants. That's what you're
That's
saying.
probably how this ends.
Well,
yeah.
then that's unacceptable. And I'm
Well,
with
that's
Ukraine
not
and Zelensky and not giving Putin everything he wants, and he wins, and we accept that. And Europe has to accept that. I'm against that conclusion.
Well, if the guy's name was Igor Kalkakov, you wouldn't care as much as you do because you're invested in just bringing Putin down so bad. You got to worry about the people.
No, it doesn't matter if it's Putin or the other guy you mentioned. If it's some murdering dictator, and Russia is our enemy, they're not our friend, and we have a president that treats him like he's visiting the president of France. Yeah, when you're trying to get a country like Syria on Assad, the media and the perception of the people is key. And Trump giving Putin victories and the people seeing that in Russia, that only emboldens them instead of, makes them want to oust the guy. So that's not how you end a war. So all of it's bad.
Giving him anything. This war has been going on for 4 years. I've told you that repeatedly. How you think it's just all of a sudden everyone's gonna line up and start bombing the hell out of Russia and bring him to his knees?
Bingo.
That world doesn't exist, Corey. So what do? You can't keep coming on here
Bingo.
and keep telling me that I love.
Why doesn't the world exist where you bomb Russia? Ukraine's doing it right now. They're hitting the hell out of Russia's oil and gas industry. It's devastating Russia. Should be doing more of that. What's the problem with that? Putin's going to launch a nuclear bomb? You think Putin's going to launch a nuclear bomb?
Are we going to ever talk about the 7 other wars that he's brought to an end? Or are we just going to keep talking about this one? That's not our war.
It's 7 and 3 that we're about to start. I've heard all the Trump lines. I'm talking about this war that Trump said he wouldn't have started. And then Putin goes, yeah, wouldn't have invaded if Trump was president. What's he going to say? It's like, what's her name? Epstein's, old lady saying Trump never did anything. What's she going to say? He did something? I'm not saying he did, but it's comical. Let's move on because we're never going to agree on this one. We're on opposite ends on this, how that war ends, all that. That was a good question. Gavin Newsom seems to be playing the Trump game pretty good. It's sort of like a equal and opposite. He seems young enough, smart enough, and understands how to play it. I don't know how to play it. I wouldn't know what to say and how to react. Newsom seems to know what to say and react, and it appears to be getting under Trump's skin. He tweets a lot about it, and Newsmax, Fox, all these conservative news outlets lead off with that story a lot. What do you think about Newsom playing the Trump game? It seems to be effective, Dan.
Well, I mean, he's not running against him, so I don't, it's the only person that they could do this to that would get them any notice. What if they was mocking Senator John Kennedy? Nobody would even pay attention or care. He's going after the big dog because he wants to look like a big dog because that's
well, who else would you go after? J.D. Vance is up Trump's rear end. J.D. Vance is going to run on Trump's platform 110%. Trump was talking, I might run for VP under Vance's president. It's like, you can't do that. It's against the Constitution. So what's Gavin Newsom supposed to do? MAGA and Trump is the Republican Party. That's who you go after. That's smart.
I agree. He's the only person that would get him any news. If he was going after J.D. Vance, it might be cut from the 6 o'clock news for a.
Who's J.D. Vance?
Morning on the East.
Who's J.D. Vance? Why would you go after him?
That's what I'm saying. You got to understand. These guys are playing games and they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
He's moving himself to the middle, and he's attacking the big dog because who else on that side is going to put up? Yeah. AOC, Bernie?
Oh, no. Come on. That's crazy there. You can't go with AOC or Bernie. The Democrats would just, that's self-implosion right there, Dan. Hey, speaking of the big dog, there he is, Dan. Next week.
I will see you next week in person.
Nice. In studio. I love it. Thank you so much, Dan.
Later, Dan.
That's The Real Deal with Dan Real. Yeah, in studio. Next Tuesday and every Tuesday. Coming right back.
Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yep. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to head to La Jolla, the affluent suburb of San Diego. And it's the Breeze Compound, a multi-million-dollar complex where Drew Brees lives. Take it away, Drew. Yes, it is New Orleans. You know, we pay Drew Brees a little premium every single day. That's live. He calls in live with that chant. It was very similar to down the dial when he was the Saints quarterback doing that weekly call-in. Very similar. You didn't really get much out of it, except, this is New Orleans. All right, let's get on it. 5 o'clock powwow on a Tuesday. Yeah, you right. So much to discuss. Lots of topics on this Tuesday. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed the real deal with Dan Reel. Dan Reel joining us on the program. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X, at the controls, fielding your phone calls. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. 766-9480. I think some things in life are just a self-fulfilling prophecy. What's put in is what you get out. And I was asking Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, because he's a big sports fan, and he probably watches more local news, 468-26 for sports than I do. I don't watch any local news. I couldn't tell you who the anchors are on 468-26, when they do news, when they don't. I know a lot of them start like 4:30 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. I don't know who does, who doesn't, who has a 6 o'clock news, who doesn't, who does news at 6:30, 9 p.m. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you who anchors it. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch local news. I go to the websites, 468-26. I pull up news from their websites all the time. I just don't watch the shows. Point is, Mario Brothers like sports. So I'm imagining he's watching 468-26, knows exactly when those sportscasts come on during the newscast, how many minutes in. I used to. Man, 15 after it's so-and-so. At 18 after you can catch it. If you plan it right, you can catch Fox 8 and then catch Channel 4 sports, that kind of gimmick, So I was asking him, the television I'm watching, and even though it's maybe not what he's watching, I'm watching it, and so are other New Orleanians. I've never seen a Tulane football ticket commercial. And I was asking Mario Brothers if he's ever seen one. And I'm guessing there's one out there, Mario Brothers, that there's one produced and it's airing somewhere like on a Tulane show or something. Man. But Tulane's not spending money anywhere pushing football tickets, which is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember seeing one. I remember the Fear the Wave thing being pushed on the radio, but never like actually marketing.
No, that's the NIL, and that's Fear the Wave price spending their money on that.
But never actually marketing a game.
No, the Tulane athletic department's just mind-blowing to me. Where's their marketing department? Here's the deal, Green Wave. I'll help you out. All right? Two things. I know you get all pissed off when I'm critical of you. And two, maybe you need to look in the mirror, because I wouldn't be so critical if you were doing things right in first class instead of half-ass. New Orleans has a metro population of about 1.2 million. Tulane University, think about that. Out of a million people, how many families is it? Hundreds of thousands of families, like, mom, dad, little Sally and Jimmy. Family of 4. They live in Luling. They live in St. Bernard. They live in St. Tammany. They live in Hammond. They live in Houma. Doesn't matter. Anywhere within an hour or so, Tulane has an opportunity to market to these folks that they want an outlet. But the Saints, they're not spending thousands of dollars on a pair of Saints tickets, literally thousands of dollars. And they're not spending thousands of dollars on Pelicans tickets. So the major pro sports teams are out of reach, either financially, like we can't afford them, or by choice. We want to go to Disney World. We want to take a vacation. We want to have a boat, whatever. So we can't afford, or we choose to not spend the money on it. We need something more affordable that fits our budget. You know how many folks would love to hook their wagon to having 7 Tulane season football tickets that have absolutely no connection to the school? That should be Tulane's drive. Of course you go after, the people you know. You write your list, the people you know first. So all the Tulane supporters, fans, you make sure you're selling them tickets, of course. That's pretty much where it stops with Tulane. Instead, Tulane's major campaign, you should be able to get 8,000, 10,000 season ticket holders that are people that have absolutely no tie to Tulane University, have never given $1 to the school. A lot of them, you'd have to be like, how do we get to the stadium? Where is it on this campus? Do we go by Claiborne? Do we go by St. Charles? Where is Tulane located? May not even know the uptown area because they live in Luling or Hammond or Houma, Mississippi Gulf Coast. Saints, Pelicans, too expensive, choosing not to spend that money, but want that type of thing. You can get 7 games of Tulane football at Yeoman, like a family of 4-pack, for a few $100. And Tulane doesn't push this. I mean, Yeoman Stadium is perfect. It's not 50,000 seats. It's not 70,000. It's about 30,000. 30,000. And there's a plan if they ever build this football operations center, which they don't even, don't know where the tunnel entrance is, much less light at the end of the tunnel. They'd put like stands on the roof of that complex that would, suites and a big, thing of stands up there where you'd have a few thousand more folks checking out Yeoman. The point is that place should be a vibrant, viable crowd every game and sold out a lot of games because you have this base. And it's not the Tulane students. It's not the Tulane alums. It's not the folks that have a connection to Tulane. Their kid went there. It's not the folks that, love Tulane football and have a history with Tulane. The opposite. It's a base of 8 or 10,000 season ticket holders that have zero connection to Tulane. Let's just market to this million-plus market of Metro New Orleans and beyond. I mean, might be 1.5 million people when you include Houma, Thibodeau. You include like the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's about 1.5 million people that they could be marketing to. Hundreds of thousands of families that aren't buying Saints and Pelicans and could be buying Tulane. So that's kind of mind-boggling and mind-blowing. I know some folks like, man, Corey just goes off on Tulane athletics because now's the time. The fire's hot. Hit while the iron's hot. They blew it with the Cotton Bowl momentum. Now you've got a really good football team with a really good coach, and they're kind of just, what can we get away with instead of what we can do? Reactive instead of proactive. I mean, they're probably already in a defeatist mode where, okay, Sumrall will be with an SEC team in December, won't be coaching our bowl team. Let's look at some of the assistants on his staff that maybe we could promote. And who are some other Sumrall type coaches, the hot coach out there at the, lower level, like how we got Willie Fritz and Sumrall, where we're 2-0 on that. Probably already in that mode instead of how do we keep Sumrall? Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. Speaking of program, the Greenway football team, 11 a.m. Saturday. Yeah, you're right. Northwestern at Yeoman in Uptown. Tickets still available. It is a great college environment at Yeoman. It's colorful, the pageantry, outdoors. It's not a high school game. Forget about 25,000. Come on. It's a great college environment. You could have 40,000 checking out Jesuit in St. Aug or Brother Martin Rummel at Tad Gormley. You could have 30,000, whatever. You could have it in the Dome, 40,000. It's not the college environment that Yeoman is with half the crowd. It's high school to college, and it's a major difference, and I'm not knocking the preps at all. But this people, I think Tulane's like high school, or there's not enough fans. It's not Tiger Stadium. I mean, Tiger Stadium's the outlier. Most college stadiums, 50, 55,000. That's like the average. Tiger Stadium's like double that. It's the outlier. Tulane's just fine with 30,000.
Rarely fills up either, Tiger Stadium.
Not anymore.
With the capacity, yeah.
Yeah, only like the big couple of games.
Yeah, it was better with 92,000.
Yeah.
My opinion.
They've got 102,000 tickets sold though, basically.
Yeah,
that part's the deal.
That's why they did it, but the atmosphere suffered.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. No, and it may continue to suffer. Hey, tomorrow in the 4:00 hour, New Orleans' own Cameron Gilly's going to join us. You're like, who's Cameron Gilly? Just a regular New Orleans guy, married, kids, except that he's like superhuman. He can run forever. And he went up to Leadville, Colorado, this New Orleans native. The heat, humidity, the bayous. Went up to the mountains, 12,500 feet, and ran the Leadville 100. 100 miles in the mountains. Started at 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning and finished around 11 a.m. the next morning, Sunday morning. Ran for nearly 29 hours straight. And got that buckle, the coveted buckle, under 30 hours. Hundreds, like 300 plus of the 700 that started did not finish. Cameron Gilly in New Orleans finished like top 30%. Amazing. He'll be in studio right here live next to me in the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow, a full hour. It's mind-blowing. You'll want to stick around for this. It is inspirational. It's just amazing to me how, I mean, physically fit, of course, no doubt. A lot of people are physically fit and strong. The mental aspect coupled with the physical fit part is the mind-blowing part. How do you run for 29 hours? How do you run through the night? Coming right back. Don't move, New Orleans.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Don't forget, you can catch the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on television every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
I still love that meters stuff. Crank that up. So got some meters going there? That stuff's much older than you, Mario Brothers, almost twice your age. From the late 60s.
Okay.
The funky sounds of the meters. Check out the CD, the album. Go on YouTube. Looky Pie Pie. The Meters.
That's funny you mentioned
Good stuff.
late 60s. I just saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
For the first time this past weekend.
You poor bastard.
The main guy is still alive.
Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, Dick Van Dyke's like 96.
Yeah, he's about to be 100.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Julie Andrews, I guess, passed away. Yeah. Wow. I guess none of those kids. Who knows? Probably the kids aren't. I don't know. The kids might not be alive.
The kids are older. They are.
Yeah, because Dick Van Dyke was probably like 40 or 35 when he did it. So the kids are. Dick Van Dyke's 96. The kids are like 80 or something, Yeah. 75.
Let's just celebrate that he's alive.
Yeah, no. He still seems to be going and, has a much younger wife, but not so much younger. Okay. And really seems to love him and care for him. And, Good. Yeah. That's awesome. Exactly.
Good for him.
Yep. Seems like a happy, jolly guy. I'll use the word jolly. Fits that era. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. What had you watching that movie, Mario Brothers, aka Latinx?
To be honest with you, my girlfriend brought it up. I've said that I'd never watched it, and she's like, "We're watching it." We watched
Nice.
It.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that movie when I was a child.
Yeah, classic movie.
Speaking of a child, Ray Nagin has reemerged. It's absolutely embarrassing, to be honest with you. This guy's like 60-something years old, like a full-blown man. And sadly, delivers this at a church service. You're going to have a very receptive audience. I don't know about you. You think I have this attitude when I'm in church on Sunday and I'm the, poster boy for Catholicism. I'm at church like once a year. Literally. I was in church the other day, probably the first time in a year. But do you think I'm like in a combative or, argumentative or here's my opinion or do you think I'm more like, hey, mankind and, forgive and be giving and, be kind. You're in church. So it's a very receptive audience to nonsense, to false statements. There's like no other environment that Ray Nagin could get away with saying he's innocent, that he's innocent. That race was a big factor in his indictment. That LaToya Cantrell's indictment, race is a big factor. And don't kid yourself. I'll just say this, saying it at the church service, sort of cowardly. You're injecting politics in your own personal, proclamation of innocence at a church service, just weak. Second, he said he's innocent. Nope. Lucky. He only served 5 years of 10 years. You're lucky, Ray. You should just be quiet. You should just hush. You got away with something. You only had to serve half your time because of Corona or, something. COVID. I have no idea. And then race was a big factor in your indictment. No, it wasn't. And people that are truly, being discriminated against because of race, you're a sellout to them. You're like New Orleans firefighters that claim a disability, then when they're not hurt, how do they go in front of their former coworkers that have a disability and were hurt? They're playing golf and fishing, running their snowball stand and collecting the same disability as the hurt guy. No, it's sinful to claim race when that wasn't part of it because real racism goes on and this ain't the time. And then Mayor Cantrell, same thing, going after her because of race. Nope, you're 0 for 3. Nope. And the comments he said, just crazy, besides his, innocence, it was the negative press. Nothing on him, nothing he did. Never said anything about the good he did or the bad he did or the mistakes he made. None of that. Just the negative press, the media's fault. And then the media, he says this, in cahoots with the prosecutors, like the local media, 468-26, NOLA.com, The Lens, working with federal prosecutors. And then this is another quote from Nagin. They manufactured charges against me and they brought them through to fruition. It's like, you're a 60-something-year-old man, 10 years out of your indictment and jail time, essentially. And this is the public comments you say when you reemerge in New Orleans and you do it on a Sunday at a church service? Negative press, media in cahoots with the federal prosecutors, manufacturing charges against me, and they brought them to fruition. I'm innocent. Race is involved. Just the worst of the worst, just all BS and nonsense. We all know better, black and white. We know what Ray Nagin did. No, what the worst part is just how cowardly and just pathetic. 60-something-year-old man that can't face reality. Aaron Broussard, I respect Aaron Broussard. You want to know why? Because Aaron Broussard has admitted he was wrong. And Aaron Broussard's trying to change his life. And, he's more believable. I went to the Lamarck concert at the Jefferson Parish Performing Arts Center a few years ago. Aaron Broussard was in there with his wife. He was kind of meek and quiet and shy and wasn't running up to people, wasn't trying to be seen, just wanted to come enjoy the concert. I was about to go over and say hello, but I was very hard on Aaron Broussard, and I'm sure that's what he thinks of me. Like, God, this guy Corey was relentless on me because, Nagin and Broussard, it's easy to be an elected official. I could be an NFL coach in the offseason. Just don't want me on the sideline when the game started, when practice time, and anything that has something to do with football. Don't want me involved as a coach because I'm not a coach. But I can be a great NFL coach in the offseason. Anyone can be a politician. Aaron Broussard was Jefferson Parish president for years, in politics for decades. Ray Nagin, New Orleans mayor. They both had mental breakdowns during Katrina. What hits the fan, time to step up. They stepped down. So, yeah, I was relentless on Aaron Broussard. The fake story crying about the mother trapped in the old folks' home. Come get me on Monday, Tuesday. She drowned on Friday. Just made up nonsense. But I respect Aaron Broussard because he has acknowledged his guilt, paid his dues, and has changed his life and is moving on. Isn't saying I'm innocent and the media was in cahoot with the feds and all this nonsense, this in denial crap. Coupled with he wasn't trying to sell it to an audience at church. A very forgiving, wanting to believe. I mean, I know how I am at church. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. One strike, you're out. 2 strikes, 10 strikes, you're out. Second, third, fourth chance. Forgiveness, be kind. Ray Nagin goes into a church and basically just either just outright lies or is totally living in denial. Either way, it's pathetic as a 60-something-year-old man to act like a child. Anyway, Ray Nagin reemerges and, in typical fashion, it's pretty pathetic. The C in C Ray Nagin, like I've said, stands for crappy. It's just crappy. Just lame. Lame. This is such a sad story. It's sickening. 12-year-old Brian Vasquez, who's been missing for like 12 days, his body was found in a canal not far from his house in New Orleans East. They're not saying if foul play is involved or not. They're not ruling it out. No, it's just a sad, sad, sad ending. This kid is nonverbal, has some type of autism, I guess, on the spectrum. It's a very wide spectrum. They're all different kinds of autism. It's not just you're autistic and it's one thing. Autism's thousands and thousands of different variations and varieties. This poor kid, he snuck out of the house, and 12 days later, they found him. The Cajun Navy searching the area with drones out in New Orleans East. I'll tell you what, I mean, I said I wasn't going to do anything about this week because Friday is, 20 years of the K word and all that, and I'm not. But I will say this. The Cajun Navy, it doesn't matter where it is, what color, race, creed, sex, origin, none of that, religion, it doesn't matter. If people are in need, these crafty Cajuns that are hunters and fishermen, they've got trucks and trailers and boats, and they know how to get those trucks and trailers and boats in all kind of precarious spots. They know how to launch those boats in the most crazy spots, and they know how to navigate insane waterways, and they know how to get into hairy, ornery little crevices and places, and they're great at it. And they volunteer and they care. And when I heard the Cajun Navy, along with their drones, they found this boy's body, and a lot of folks have been looking. So kind of a side topic, You got to love the Cajun Navy, not just because the name's cool and they represent Cajun culture, which is great, and they represent Louisiana. All that's great. So it makes you want to embrace them, but they're doing incredible work. They are blind, color blind, sex, creed, race, religion blind. They're just like, human being in need, we're there. We're there. No, 20 years ago, the amount of people they saved off rooftops and all over, thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people they saved. Pretty amazing. And then what hits the fan in like Houston or somewhere, they're there. They're there leading the way. Pretty amazing. No, a sad story, though. Keep the Vasquez family in New Orleans East in your prayers. You got a mom and dad who are grieving. They lost their 12-year-old. Just a sad ending. Really sad. Spencer Rattler named starting quarterback for your New Orleans Saints football team. The roster cut down to 53. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, is going to come up with a name or two when we come back of maybe a cut that surprised him. We'll see. Maybe a player they kept that surprised him. Spencer Rattler, your Saints starting quarterback. They open up the season a week from Sunday in the Dome. Arizona coming to town. Arizona might be the perfect opponent in a way. They're a good team. They're a playoff caliber team, but they might come into the Dome like thinking that, and that the Saints are not a good team. And maybe they come in and overlook the Saints even in game one. Not focused on that, thinking about down the road, the real opponents we have to face. Maybe that mentality. I hope. You can go, Corey, it's the NFL. They're professionals. They don't think like that. It's a game. It happens. Maybe an ideal opponent. Hey, we're coming right back. Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock powwow. Don't move, New Orleans.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex is something called Quick Lane. tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Hey, Marigny, Bywater, Treme, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Garden District, Irish Channel. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on a Tuesday afternoon. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Hey, Mario Brothers, when I think of a scooter, I think of like a Vespa or something like that type of scooter. Its tires are about like a foot tall, 15 inches tall. And, it's got a seat and a little kind of aerodynamic front with handlebars. Yeah. It's a scooter. Yeah, scooter. What do you call the skateboard with the handle? That's like a scooter, right? Don't people call that a scooter now?
Yeah, honestly, I've always called it a scooter, and the first thing you described is an electric scooter.
Right, okay. So the electric scooter, basically a skateboard with two tires, and they're maybe, about 6 or 8 inches tall tops? So tiny little tires. The rim's about 6 inches, and the tire might be 2 inches thick. 2 inches. Yeah, something like 8 inches around, something like that, 2 tires. It's a skateboard with a handle. Now they've got them with a seat. Oh, really? All right. So I'm coming down the street, and this dude's on one that I'm passing. He's like on the side of the road, but on the road. I'm passing in my car. He's doing about somewhere between 25 and 30. No helmet. I'm just like, with no helmet. So I'm just like, first off, just those little tires, any little pothole or a piece of wood, a broken branch, a plastic bottle could catch the right angle under the tire and just, you're done. You're wiped out. You're flying off. You're going over the handlebars. I mean, dude's got just like a little knapsack on, like not even that, like just a little bag strapped around him and just buzzing around, no helmet. I'm just like, death trap, man. Like, I mean, you're going to spend time in the hospital, if not die, if there's any accident at 25 or 30. I mean, when you're flying on a bike pedaling, you're doing about 20 to 25. I mean, maybe narrow tires, faster. But I'm talking like your average bike that's got gears, hybrid, say. You're pumping, you're pedaling, you're in decent shape. You might get up to 20, 25 miles an hour. It's pretty quick. That's cruising. You wear a helmet. I mean, I just don't get it. This just buzzing around. And then just, if that's your mode of transportation, you're using it all the time, a wreck is inevitable. 100%. When I went to New York, I hadn't been to Manhattan. I went a few months ago. I hadn't been in probably like 5 or 6 years. And 3 things stood out in Manhattan. It's sad. I mean, it's not about homeless or any of that. And it's not sad like in regard like these are majorly depressing things, just that it wasn't these huge positives. The skylines changed, lots of new buildings. I could talk about that. But the smell of weed all over the street is just pathetic. I don't give a crap if you smoke weed or not. I have nothing against it. That's your choice. You want to smoke weed? You want to drink? I don't care. But can't you just go inside and smoke? Can't you do it like sort of away from everybody? You have to smoke a big joint walking down the street in Manhattan because it happens to be legal? I go to Irene's in the Quarter, walking down Iberville. I get stoned in between Dauphine and Irene's. It's just weed smoke everywhere. I just don't get that. I have nothing against weed. I'm not saying it should be banned, legal, whatever. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. I'm not against it. But Why do you have to reek up Manhattan with weed? There's children, elderly walking around. It's uncool. It's selfish, crappy behavior. The scooters, people zipping around on scooters in Manhattan. I'm like, how many people die on a scooter? No helmet, 20 miles an hour. I'm like, anyone can just walk out. You're going to slam into a pole, a car, and then the electric bikes too, all over Manhattan. It's just like, and people with no helmets. I'm just like, so those three things, I was just like, wow, there were never electric bikes. There were never electric scooters, like the proliferation of them. And you could walk around Manhattan and you're going to smell weed like you would anywhere USA. And now it's like you're inside of a bong. It just reeks. It's just pathetic, Mario, bro. I don't get it. I don't understand that.
I'm just used to
I don't want to. Well, it's like Bourbon Street. I have nothing against alcohol, but it reeks of just alcohol in the street and mixed up alcohol and drinks spilled and all kind of other nasty liquids. It stinks. It reeks, you know?
I'll never forget. I was doing an intern thing with ESPN, like big ESPN, like Mike and Mike and all that. And my job was to drive the people around. And I was driving like some of the executives around. And I think we were on North Rampart. And they were like, I didn't know weed was legal here.
Yeah.
It seems like it is.
Yeah,
like,
you're probably like St. Claudish, maybe down that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They thought it was legal because it was so much in the air.
Crazy. Anyway. 766-984-80 is the phone number. 766-984-80. No, just seeing this cat on this scooter today, I was just like, I almost wanted to roll down the window, but you can't say anything to anybody. I'm going to say, dude, you should really have a helmet? I mean, you guys are like, flip me off, tell me to worry about myself. But I'm like, that dude ain't lasting long on that scooter, buzzing around at 25 miles an hour with no helmet, you know. Big gut, didn't look athletic. He flies off the scooter. He's not going to be able to do some maneuver probably. He's just going to get clocked. Anyway. Hey, tomorrow, Cameron Gilly, live in studio. He ran the Leadville 100 in Colorado, 100 miles in the mountain. Ran overnight. 2 mornings in a row, 29 hours of running almost. He'll join us live in studio, 4 o'clock hour tomorrow. I think you're going to find it really interesting and inspirational. And I am uninspirable. All right, not really. I'm the opposite. Thursday, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Right-leaning Quinn Hillier, left-leaning Ellis Hennigan. Both New Orleans born and bred, but right when they turned 18, they beelined out of Dodge. Quinn headed up to D.C. and Georgetown, Ellis, New York, and Columbia. And they've pretty much been gone ever since. National pundits, you can check them out on national network outlets. If you want to learn more about them before Thursday when they join us, Quinn with one N, Hillier.com and Hennigan.com to check out Ellis's site. Chock full of good stuff. Yeah, tomorrow, Cameron Gilly, Leadville 100, Thursday, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan. Ray Nagin reemerging, embarrassing himself at a church service on Sunday, said, quote, the negative press, coupled with, quote, in cahoots with the federal prosecutors. They manufactured charges against me and they brought them to fruition. Said he was innocent, saying race had a role in it. If he weren't black, he probably wouldn't have been indicted. Race is having a role in Mayor Cantrell being indicted. As far as him being innocent, nope. As far as race being involved, nope. As far as race being involved with Cantrell, nope. Typical Ray Nagin, he's over. He's over. This is the same Ray Nagin when the you-know-what hit the fan, literally had a nervous breakdown. Right after Katrina was like embedded at the Hyatt Regency in a suite, like hiding under the covers, like not to be seen, stayed hunkered down in like his bunker for days. Nervous breakdown, couldn't handle anything. Just pathetic, man. You know what's hitting the fan, that's when you're most needed, and you're going to go ball up in the corner in the Hyatt? No, Ray Nagin was promising as mayor. We got along great first term because he was a normal dude that was civic-minded trying to help the city. And then Ray Nagin was like, dang, man, I make half the money I make at Cox. And I live on Park Island. I got expenses. I'm going to work this deal with Home Depot and we'll supply the granite. My sons will run the granite. Just, going down the wrong path. And many other criminal activities. He got 10 years in jail because of corona or COVID, gets let out after 5. You think he'd be humble and, quiet. Instead, a child, embarrassing, 60 plus, can't accept the truth or knows the truth, living in denial, just wants to lie about it. I'm innocent, race involved. Now, it's so bad on so many ways. Like, you're not innocent. There is real racism in the world, and it doesn't apply here. So you're really doubly wrong doing that. It's sinful behavior because real people suffer, and you're claiming that. And then mentioning the mayor getting indicted, the quote, didn't know a love affair was a federal crime. Yeah, I think a little more involved in it than that. But that's Ray Nagin, just simple little comments that hope they stick. Hope it's bacon on a, hot skillet. Sadly, when you say all this at a Sunday church service, I mean, that's going to be a pretty receptive audience. Primarily black, if not entirely black. Church service in New Orleans. I don't know about you, black, white, whatever you are. When you're in church, you're very accepting. You're forgiving. You're kind. It's a slightly different environment from the real world, especially the ugly world of politics where criminal activity is involved. So no, just Ray Nagin like a child, man. 60-plus-year-old man that can't man up, that can't accept responsibility. No, I said it earlier. I respect Aaron Broussard. He faltered as president of Jefferson Parish when the you-know-what hit the fan. He kind of had his own nervous breakdown. But he was indicted, found guilty, went to jail, came out and said, I screwed up. I made mistakes. I regret them. I've moved on. I'm going to be a better man. I'm going to give back to the community. I'm going to help others. Acknowledges his guilt as a man, not this Ray Nagin kindergarten child stuff. Pathetic. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, I predicted because of the church service that Nagin will appear on WBOK radio maybe today or tomorrow at worst, and it will be the biggest rear-end butt-kissing interview of all time.
Yeah, I bet.
Exactly. Trust me. Pathetic.
Very predictable.
It'll be like, oh, the feds went after you. The feds and the media in cahoots. I mean, just embarrassing. Innocent, negative press, no responsibility, just like Cantrell. Everything's someone else's fault. But the media in cahoots with the federal prosecutors, they manufactured charges against me and they brought them to fruition. Amazing. Hey, Latrim is truly amazing in a good way. And they're looking for you. Looking for a job, looking for a career. Latrim.com is the website. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. They have a job for you at Latrim. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's Latram.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
convenience. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
New Orleans talk giant, Corey Johnson, on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans in the palm of my hand.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock powwow. Corey Johnson with you. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock hour, Cameron Gilly in studio. He ran the Leadville 100 in Colorado, 100 miles in the mountains running for 29 hours straight almost. He's a New Orleans native. That makes it doubly impressive. He'll be in studio tomorrow. Thursday, another edition of Hillier and Hennigan, just in time, too, because so much going on. So much going on with 10 Commandments in Texas and burning the flag and Ukraine war and Israel, Gaza, go on and on and on. It's great to get that national perspective from right-leaning Quinn Hillier and left-leaning Ellis Hennigan. They are diametrically opposed. They disagree about 90% of the time. They never raise their voice. They're ridiculously intelligent, common sense. They go back and forth. I mean, I just throw it out there and kind of put my hands behind my head and kick my feet up on the desk, you know? Mario Brothers gives me one of those cigarettes in that like long holder thing. Like, you know, I'm an aristocrat type of thing. We smoke those cigarettes with the long holder, the stem thing. Oh, wow. Last night, Lakefront Airport, the 3 top mayoral candidates as far as fundraising and polling, Oliver Thomas, Royce Duplessis, prohibitive favorite Helena Moreno, a little forum, a debate. I believe it will air tomorrow on Channel 12, the station that Dominic Massa runs. Ray Nagin has reemerged last Sunday at a church service, proclaiming his innocence, blaming it on the feds and the media. The media concocted the negative story. They, quote, in cahoots with the prosecutor, manufactured charges against me, and they brought them to fruition. So blame the media and the prosecutors, the feds, for Ray Nagin going to jail, because by golly, he's innocent. Oh, and by the way, they went after him because of race as well. That's convenient. And they're going after Mayor Cantrell because of race. I wonder why Ray Nagin didn't bring up sex with Cantrell. It's just race, not because she's female too? Wow. Didn't know a love affair was a federal crime. I mean, nothing worse for me. And it sucks because I should be embracing this kind of stuff because it does incite normal, commonsensical people like myself to be like, what? I got to question that. People love making comments like hot bacon hitting a sizzle, I should say bacon hitting a hot skillet. They love the sizzle. These comments that just, like Nagin, didn't know a love affair was a federal crime. Probably got a lot of people laughing in the church and agreeing with that. If you think the feds indicted Mayor Cantrell because she was having an affair there's something mentally wrong with you. It's exactly like I've been saying the whole time. I don't give a crap about her personal life unless she's having an affair, unless it affects me as a taxpayer, like falsifying, timesheets for VAPI, the mayor bringing along on trips when she shouldn't and using taxpayer money, things of that nature. Didn't know a love affair was a federal crime. I mean, just crappy. But the extremes do that. It could be extreme left. It could be extreme right, just extreme folks in general. They throw out premises that you assume are fact-based, that are real, and they're not. Then they throw out a second one. So you get these two illogical, non-fact-based premises that lead to BS, but to them, it leads to a logical conclusion. Fact-based premise, a second fact-based premise leads to a logical conclusion. A lie leads to a lie. So just the worst part about this guy's 60-something years old and still not admitting he's guilty and moving on with his life. Hey, I'm guilty. I made a mistake. Moving on. Not man enough to do that. Instead, this nonsense. Innocent. The press had a lot of negative stories. The press worked with the feds to prosecute Nagin and came up with fake charges that stuck. That's his story. And it's just mind-blowing. It's BS on top of BS on top of BS on top of BS. Guess what that equals? A bunch of BS. Spencer Rattler named Saints starting quarterback. Saints cutting the roster down to 53. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, is our in-house sports expert. He loves sports. It's what he does. Any names jump out at you, Mario? I mean, I look at the cut list. That defensive end from last year's draft or 2 years ago draft got cut. The second-round pick, that was a bust. I didn't see too many other names that I wasn't expecting to get cut. Some of the guys that got cut will go in the practice squad. Any names that jump out or surprise you? I guess when you don't have a roster full of crazy talent, you're not, the cuts that surprise you be like, boy, a team's going to pick him up quick.
Exactly.
I don't know how many players the Saints cut are getting picked up anywhere.
No, I feel you. And to your point, I don't know if I'd say any of them are a surprise, but if I had to give you a couple names, I think I was kind of hoping Clyde Edwards-Helaire would make the team. He showed some pop during preseason.
But you got a lot of depth at that running back position.
Yeah.
Sort of.
They finally got Devin Neal for the last preseason game, the rookie they had drafted from Kansas. And I guess he played good. He was like 5 yards per carry. So I guess they saw enough from him.
No, and they cut Cam Akers like a week ago or a few days ago.
And a couple young linebackers. Nafai Sewell had played okay the last couple of years, especially on special teams. DeMarco Jackson. But you could look at that as a good thing because they've drafted guys at that position the last couple of years. And I guess they're taking
honestly, Mario Brothers, linebacker may be the only position where the Saints are solid with starters.
Yeah.
Can you think of another position on the field where, wide receiver a little bit, but every team has good wide receivers. Saints are just like any team's wide receiver.
Nah, you can't name another position, honestly.
Every position is a question mark.
Yeah.
Quarterback, running back is a question mark. It's not because Alvin Kamara, because of the O-line, and can the quarterback be viable where they're not just putting 7-man front and stopping the run and going after the QB? So running back's a question mark, offensive line, tight end, wide receiver, quarterback, D-line, defensive back.
Yeah, I think
special teams, except kicker and linebacker, I think are the only positions that you could say are sort of solid.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Is that fair?
I feel pretty good about Groupie. I feel like people just remember that kick he missed against Green Bay a couple years ago.
Yep.
I'd like to see him make up for it because other than that, he's been pretty steady.
Yep, and linebacker. I like Studsman, the Oklahoma rookie.
Yes, you got Demario Davis and a bunch of young guys he could hopefully mentor.
I think you're going to see him. Hey, we're going to rest Demario, so he'll be stronger.
Yes.
He'll not play as many snaps and get this rookie in there. And then that's going to grow, and then Demario might be final season.
Yep.
Or if he plays out of his rear end, then he wants to come back. It'd be some pay cut thing just because, as Jim Finks would say, long in the tooth. There's Blue Boys excited about the Green Wave Saturday morning at 11. He's excited about the Tigers at Clemson Saturday night. He's a little skeptical on those Saints right now. Yeah, I think about 4 wins on the year. That over under 4.5. I think I'm going with the under on that one, and I'm not a gambling man. That's Blue Boy saying thanks. See you mañana. Leadville 100 runner Cameron Gilly in studio.
Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.